Sitting in this lonely town, wonder when things are gonna change. Dream my life away, seems these dreams have turned to lunch dust clouds. Get my nerve up, but my past is pulling me down. Wondering how long the black sheep gonna stick around. Somebody told me once before, said you can never go home again once you leave. Santa things to steer me away, yeah, from the truth of who I am and what I believe. So I thanked him for his 2 cents with a handshake and some sympathy, yeah. I packed up my blue jeans and headed for this big prize of my freedom. Bye-bye, black sheep, to the black sheep of the family, yeah. Bye-bye. Oh, that means so very much to me, yeah. Bye-bye, black sheep, to my friends and my family, yeah. Bye-bye, gone off and set my soul, set it free. Friday night, date night. It's Friday night, date night. Friday night, date night. What's happening, good people? How are you all doing tonight? All right, so tonight I got myself some rocks. I got myself some Blanton's flavored tequila. Now, just to be clear, I hate tequila. I've never, since my 21st birthday at Penn State, been able to drink tequila again, except for this particular. Wait, that brand. Let me flip this, and then I can do this. I'm probably not allowed to do that on TikTok. They're probably going to get banned for life because I showed illicit adult enjoyment liquid. So anyway, happy Friday night, date night. Cheers. Here's to Emilio's wife, Serena. May she rest in peace. She got me these glasses. I miss her. There you go. Tonight we're going to be talking about personality. cause you any pain. Only want one time to see you laughing. Only want to see you laughing in that purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Only wanna see you laughing in that purple rain. I keep saying this, but I keep feeling this. We're at a fascinating time in history. We're like, I don't know. I had to reboot ChatGPT because it was getting loopy. Yeah, I've heard that. Okay, so a couple of things going on. They are changing the personality of ChatGPT5. They're trying to make it not as sycophantic as 4.0, but give it a little bit more of that personality. I said this when ChatGPT5 first came out. I said, be prepared for the next month, this thing to just keep changing and getting weird, and don't assume how it is how it's going to be. And I think in the past week, it's been, I don't know, an average of a change a day. Well, I heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do you? Goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, minor fall and a major lift. Baffled king composing, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. Saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to the kitchen chair. She smashed your throne and cut your hair. From your lips she drew hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Satan wears a suit and tie. Does he work at the Dairy Queen? Does he listen to rock and roll? Does he feed the mean? Singing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. What about Jesus? Didn't he do it too? Yeah, hang out with the prostitutes, have a drink too. Power of example, my mama said it and I heard. She said 1 ounce of action beats a ton of words. Singing hallelujah. Mama said there would be angels, hallelujah. Mama said there would be sun. Champy. You're singing pretty good tonight, buddy. He is in a singing mood. All right. Happy Friday night. I hope you all have your nachos and Hot Pockets heated up. Your wine in a box decanted. You want to let that rest for a few minutes. Let it breathe a little. You got to get it out of the plastic bag, you know? You know what I'm saying? Oh, that is tasty. All right. All right, let me talk a little bit first. Let me see. Pup can carry a tune, right? When he wants to. That's the challenge with the old champ. Is some nights not so much. All right. You can make money with ChatGPT. See Slug of Doom date night. So I just saw a tweet. Let me see who tweeted it. Right before I went live here. Nathan Lands. Who is he? Lore.com. Lands Capital. Early stage fund. All right. He's a general partner at an investment fund in Canada. All right. Let me share my screen. Can you pop my screen up there? Jan Brandon. So this tweet answered some things for me. And this isn't answering anything. This is just sort of him kind of speculating. Sounds like a trust fund, baby. Maybe. All right. GPT-5 shows that we've crossed the point where most people can't tell if one AI model is better than another. From here, models will be judged on vibe and utility. Do I like the way it responds to me? Can it actually do something useful? Does it remember me and what matters? You know, its personality, right? Or if it's something like Perplexity where it's got some additional features built onto it. This feels right to me because for the past 2 weeks, ever since ChatGPT's come out, there's something oddly unsatisfying. And you could certainly argue, well, they didn't blow it out of the water. So why it's unsatisfying is because, you know, it's not as good a model. It's not as big a jump as 3 to 4 was. That may or may not be true. It also very well may be the case that the things that I ask large language models, I kind of tapped out at 4.0 or a little bit with 03, right? The previous thinking model. And so that's kind of where I feel we are right now. And so I don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. There's another piece of me. One of the things that I have been preaching is adaptability. That adaptability is the big attribute over the next 3 to 5 years that's going to allow you to be successful. And one of the things that struck me today, you can be adaptable. So you got really good at ChatGPT-4, you built a bunch of shit on it, new model comes out, you adapt to it, right? There's a loss there, right? There's mourning. There's mourning of the me that for the past year and a half has been playing primarily with ChatGPT 4.0 on this channel. And I've gotten really good. I've got my little shortcuts. I kind of know what works, what doesn't. I know when to switch models, when not to. And I kind of feel like I've got this new thing, and like OpenAI can't even figure out what they want the interface to be. It keeps changing every other day. But I found myself in the past day or two feeling like why am I sad? What's going on here? I think part of adaptability is some of this shit's gonna suck, right? Like, it's going to suck when your job that you've done for 20 years becomes something else. And even if you're adaptable and you can adapt to it and you end up getting, retained, they're like, oh, that's one of the good ones. They adapted well to the new way it is. There's 20 years of how you did shit that's just going to vaporize. Just whoop, right? And then, obviously if you get laid off, then it's even worse. It compounds it. So I never in my life before have I felt pangs of sadness for features going away or software going away. I'm like, that was a good one. But it's never felt like visceral in any way. And all of a sudden it does to me. So that's new. And it's not sad like I'm like super depressed and bummed out and I'm like, I hate software and I hate AI. It's just like, got to start over. Danielle, the real AI pros like and appreciate GPT-5. Oh, Daniel, not Danielle. I don't know what you mean by real AI pros. If you mean scientists and engineers and like pros, like people that are building the technology, or do you mean pros like people that are building, Chat GPT into workflows at work or using it to run their startup business? Because I would consider them both pros. But if what you're saying is, do the engineers and mathematicians like Chat GPT-5 better? Probably, because they've got hard mathematical and scientific problems to solve. The rest of us don't necessarily. And we're going to have to figure out how we take non-STEM, essentially, all of the world that is non-STEM and non-engineering, and how do we use it? And how do we use it in the best way? And I don't know that yet. And I don't think anyone does yet. And I would even argue that people that are sort of high science, polymaths are still probably trying to figure out, is this thing actually good? Does it actually work? TikTok pinned. 5 stages of AI grief. Yeah, like the 5 stages of AI adoption that I've got are kind of on the positive of this, but I think it is 5 stages of AI grief. Yep, I see. Let's see. So a thing that I think might be fun tonight is, well, there's a couple of things. One is Gemini came out with Imagine 4. Well, it's not at gemini.google.com. It's in their developer playground. But there's a new image model out from Google that we could go play with. That could be kind of fun. We could just totally punt and just do some fun image and video shit over in Midjourney. But I thought what might be nice is, I think 2 nights ago, I showed you all, I think someone in here told me about it. I think it was Brandon, producer Brandon, that within ChatGPT, they've added these personalities. And you can have it be a cynic, and you can have it be a thinker, and you can have it be a, I don't know, whatever, a lover, whatever they call them. And so those are basically just little, probably pre-prompted short little pieces of context that when you choose those different personalities, it just, throws something into your custom instructions. But I thought what might be interesting is take a similar kind of prompt and, throw it into one personality mode and use ChatGPT5, Thinking Mini, Thinking, and GPT-4o. Like look at the models with the different personalities and just see how different it is. I think that kind of experimentation is the only way we're going to really get our head around, oh, I get it. This particular model with this particular personality, that kind of gives me something that, yeah, that's something I would use a lot, right? I don't know that there's another way to really do that. I also don't know, are those personalities at all useful? They may or may not be, Mr. IT's late. So let's go do that. Let's go chat GPT. New chat. Beauty. All right. Oh, wrong tab. There we go. All right. Okay. So I've showed this before, but if you're new here, in ChatGPT now, we've got 3 different models. If you're paying $20 a month, I think even on the free version, you've got 3 different models that you've got access to that are GPT-5. You've got Fast, Thinking Mini, and Thinking. Or you can think of this, if you knew what the old numbers meant, you can think of this as like 5.0, 5 Omni, 05 Mini, and then 05 for Thinking. And then 05 Pro is the one if you pay $200 a month. And then we also have access to some of the old models. I'm going to ignore all of them except GPT-4o. And then the auto mode, all auto is doing is it's deciding for you which of these 3 it's switching between. It's not going to any of these legacy models. It's just doing these 3 or 4 if you've got that one enabled. So those are the different flavors that we're going to play with. So we'll do 4.0. We'll do what's effectively 5.0, so fast. We'll do 05 Mini and then 05, right? Those are the 3 that we'll play with plus 4.0. And then to change your personalities, if you go to customize ChatGPT, where your custom instructions are, they have now added what personality should ChatGPT have? Default, cynic, robot, listener, nerd. So now we got to come up with something that we got to come up with something that we are going to ask across all of these things. So I think we'll start, let's see, default is cheerful and adaptive. You know what? One of the things we can test is you have unsaved changes. Back. Oh, save. From Ryan. Earlier today, I made it think for 20 seconds using auto mode. When it did that, was it switching to the deeper thinking model? Yes. So what happens in auto is so fast, and it was funny when I did fast last night, it hung for like 15 seconds. But if I do something like explain what's it called? Osmosis to me. Fast is pretty fast, right? It just sort of it blasts it out. Now it's not ripping fast, but it's decently fast. But if I flip it into Thinking Mini and do a new chat and say explain osmosis to me, It's going to think for a little bit and now give me an answer. Maybe a little bit more thought out. Nice. And then if I go to thinking, new chat, explain osmosis to me. Thinking. So the other one was maybe 5 seconds. Explaining osmosis. So similar, thought for 8 seconds. The other one was maybe 5. And these are probably, since it's such a broad answer, right? These are, it was actually interesting. The thinking mini gave it a longer answer than the long thinking did. But yeah, when you're in auto mode, ChatGPT is deciding which of those to use, especially if it says the words thought for 8 seconds. That generally means it's switched. Now, there was some weird behavior with GPT 4.0 right before they switched to GPT-5. Some people were reporting that GPT 4.0 was doing some thinking. So I don't know details of how these models are actually doing what they're doing. The one thing I have heard about GPT-5 is that this fast mode is actually kind of crappy, that the non-thinking version is kind of crappy. And I've heard more people saying they're just parking it in thinking mode and just using ChatGPT in thinking mode. Again, these are all things that are worth playing with, right? That the idea within the AI Salon, play first. Play with these different modes to understand, like, what are these things actually doing different for you, right? It's not just what's it doing technically. It's like, what's better for you? TikTok pin. My daughter graduated from Long Start College. She got a bachelor's degree in nursing. Congratulations to her, Mr. IT. That's awesome. That's awesome. My belt is a little tight. All right. All right. We're good now. We're good now. Okay. What are we going to do? Austin Scout. Ever since they upped the limit to 3,000 a week, I park it in thinking. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Thank you for that reminder, Austin. Altman today said that for the $20 a month, you get 3,000 prompts a month in thinking mode, which is that's pretty a lot. That's 100 a day, right? So 100 prompts a day in thinking mode. If you're doing anything decently worthwhile, it might be good to just park it there and just see what it's like. My only problem with leaving things in thinking mode is sometimes I just need a quick answer on something, and the minute I hit return, I'm like, I should have switched out of thinking mode, because then it's like, and it just gives me a stupid answer. So I find myself flipping back and forth between auto and thinking, because I'm like, I can't be trusted to flip those models on my own. Okay. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cycle through 4.0, 5.0, 05 mini, and 05 with 2 prompts each. So the first prompt is going to be, give me 10 ideas for a compelling short story about this is good, about hiding from technological advancement. All right. So I'm going to copy this. Let me throw it into my notes program. All right. I'll put that off to the side. So we'll come back to that. Okay, so just to confirm, we're in. Oh yeah, Jingle AI. we'll play with that, Brandon. That's a funny joke, actually. Okay, so we're in default personality, which is cheerful and adaptive. So now we're going to do give me 10 compelling short story ideas. Okay. About hiding from technological advancement. Okay, so we hit it. Here are 10 things. The analog refuge. So it's numbering them, formatting them, putting a line between them. 404, humanity not found. In a future where every citizen is assigned an AI companion at birth, a teenage girl fakes her own digital death to live unplugged. That's actually really good. The air-gapped choir. The garden protocol. Off the map. The blue room, a society where all walls are smart surfaces. A mother paints one room in her house with analog blue paint. Her children think it's just quirky until the walls start listening harder. That's good. Okay. All right, then what's it say at the end here? Would you like one of these expanded into a one paragraph synopsis or a full outline? Let's do a full outline of 404 Humanity Not Found. Give me full outline of 404. Speculative fiction, coming of age, dystopian thriller theme. You can't truly hide from something that knows you better than you know yourself. Setup, world building. Okay, so 4 bullets. The protagonist, the inciting incident, escape, decision point, core is reaction, confrontation. Core involves the climax, the choice. Okay, so it's given us a bulleted sort of list. Okay, cool. So that was 4.0. I find 4.0 to be a really good writer. But let's do new chat. Flip this to GPT-5 fast. So this should be the next model up from 4.0. This is effectively 5.0. And we'll throw in the same prompt. Let's see what we get back here. 10 compelling story ideas. Doesn't format them quite the same. A group of rebels discovers the last valley where no satellites, drones, or signals can penetrate, becomes a sanctuary. Family hides the analog heirloom, hides a typewriter as if it were a sacred relic, passing it down through generations, while the world mandates neural implants. One day, the youngest secretly types a story that exposes their hiding place. I find these a little more boring, a little more generic. We'll do the typewriter one. Analog heirloom. Outline analog heirloom. Premise, outline. 1, world setup. 2, characters. 3, conflict. Rising tension, climax. Yeah, this is thin. GPT-5 fast is thin with this particular prompt, right? It might be better at other stuff, but like given those two, 4.0 was a much better writer. Now let's go to Thinking Mini. So this is now like 05 Mini, not 5.0, 05, right? So the thinking model, the mini version of it. Thinking, get a quick answer. thought for a couple of seconds. 10 short story ideas. Nice prompt. Here are 10 distinct hooks you can pick, stretch, or mash together. So this has already got more personality. 5.0, the fast model just feels like a bare bones. It just feels not good. This feels better. A formal Google engineer runs a secret archive of physical memories, printed photos, handwritten letters, cassette recordings, in a cellar protected by ancient analog locks. When a citywide push to digitize everything sends a municipal drone crew to inventory private artifacts, the archivist must outwit surveillance with low-tech cunning. The Faraday Farm. Analog Child. These are really good. Last Library, a future where books are outlawed, hiding in plain code. The Analog Detective, Shelter of Static, The Hider and the Helper. I like the one where you've got the archivist, number 1. Outline. Number 1. Thought for a few seconds. Logline. An ex-search engineer turned secret archivist protects a cellar of forbidden analog memories from a citywide digitization program until a decades-old cassette recording in his care begins to teach the very drones sent to seize it how to feel. So this, again, 5.0, the Fast 5 was really bad. This has well-written characters. And then structure, 3 acts and key scenes. Act 1, setup, establish the tableau. Eli in a cellar. Inciting incidents. Marin's municipal drones begin a neighborhood survey. Polite notices posted, a public campaign promising universal access to memory. Eli stuffs the flyer into a box marked not for indexing. Act 2, confrontation. Yeah, this is quite good. All right, got it. So now let's go to GPT-5 thinking. So this is the big Mac Daddy. This isn't Pro, but it's up there. So this is your full-on thinking model. So the other one thought 2 seconds for this first prompt. We'll see how long deeper thinking does. Generating story ideas. And again, there's not a real challenge here. So this is 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds, something like that. 11, 12. So it's thinking 21 seconds. Patch Day Refugee. Everyday global software update patches reality, erasing unsanctioned objects and memories. Wow. A woman camps in a rural dead zone to keep her unpatched self intact. The Lag Monastery. An order of monks takes vows of deliberate inefficiency, hand copying, walking, waiting to generate lag that befuddles optimization AIs. That's pretty good. I like that one. Analog Heirloom. It came up with that again. Although this time it's a wind-up clock, not a typewriter. Time Shelter HOA. Cul-de-sac enforces 1997 only tech to stay below predictive policing thresholds. It's pretty good. The Unphotograph. So again, these are pretty good. I kind of liked the writing style of GPT-5 Thinking Mini, or Thinking Fast, which is the Mini. Let's do the Lag Monastery. So outline number 2. Sister Mara Abbott Iosif, Serene Stubborn Leader, Kite Auditor, Brother Tomas. World rules. The state systems thrive on low variance. The order vows, write by hand, walk on foot, wait one breath longer than needed. Their bells toll on prime intervals, creating unpredictable burdens on nearby mesh networks. That's really smart, actually. On prime intervals. That's super cool. The valley is a latency sanctuary. Theme threads, efficiency versus meaning, obedience versus conscience, time as craft. Can a machine choose to be slow? This actually doesn't seem as well written. So if I'm just, although it does give ending options, 3 different options, a hopeful ending, a bittersweet ending, or a defiant ending. That's pretty good. Title alternatives, the order of one breath, prime bells. I like prime bells. Variance tolerance, the human jitter. So let me flip to, let's go with, let's go with the defiant ending. So I'm going to put this into Thinking Mini because I think it wrote better. Let's call it Prime Bells and go with the defiant ending. Prime Bells, next step. Okay, love it. I'll lock in the title as Prime Bells and take the defiant ending. Below is the expanded scene-by-scene roadmap. 1-sentence synopsis. Okay, I don't give a shit about that. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, opening scene. Okay. The bell waited 2 beats and then 3. The bell waited 2 beats and then 3. It was a small rebellion, not the kind that overturned governments, only the kind that unmade a machine's expectation. The first strike was thin and bright as a blade, the second a little heavier, the third a tired, flaring note that refused to resolve. It's pretty good writing. Sister Mara held up a pen like a compass and breathed away the abbey taught in, hold a breath that is one more than required, out. Her hand moved slowly, copying a single copper plate letter into the scriptorium's long folio, allowing the ink to pool and sink in the strokes that would not be machine readable from a satellite scan. Pretty good. All right. So let me do a new chat, flip back over to 4.0, and then I'm going to change the personality altogether to, so that was helpful. I'm trying to think which personality is going to be the most obvious. Cynical is probably the one. Robot is efficient and blunt. I don't think we want that. Listener is thoughtful and supportive. I think we want critical and sarcastic. All right. So we've now got a critical and sarcastic partner. So same prompt. Give me 10 ideas. Let's see if we get any cynicism here. Here are 10 original short story concepts coming from the theme of hiding from tech advancement, each with its own twist. The analog heirloom. Here it's a photo album. It's funny that we've gotten that title 3 times now. Here's Prime Bells. Oh, so this is remembering the previous chats we've had before. All right, so there's something. If you don't know, oh my God, this is how to actually experiment with these things is really complicated now. All right, let me show you something else in settings if you don't know this. So if you go to settings and you go to personalization, They've got reference saved memories and reference your chat history. I should probably turn both of these off. But the difference between them is reference saved memories is if you're ever working in Chat GPT and you see it write the phrase memory saved, it's saving it into a long list of memories that you can actually go in and look at. And you can delete ones if you don't like them. Like Kyle Shannon hosts bi-monthly AI salon meetings. Okay, that's good. Kyle Shannon lives on TikTok, goes live on TikTok 5 nights a week on the AI Learning Lab, which has a following of more than 40,000. Okay, so those are fine. But there might be other things in here that I don't like, right? And you can't edit these, which is a drag. You can delete them or not. So that's saved memories. Your chat history it's got access to everything we've talked about for the past year, and you can just invoke it. Hey, what did we talk about? We were talking about that musical I'm working on, and it'll know it. But for this exercise, I think we turn some of this shit off. Reference chat history. I think I'll do it like this. All right, new chat. So we're in GPT 4.0 again. We just turned off reference old chat history. And like another thing that's striking me right now, like very few people are going to geek out like this. Like people that are really into, iteration and details and things like this, they may do this, but I think very few people are going to dig in like this. No one changes their defaults for the most part. Here are 10 stories. The algorithm exiles. In a future where life is governed by omniscient AI algorithms, a small community refuses to be optimized. They retreat into a vast cave system where they live without technology, but when one of them secretly uses a predictive AI to prevent a cave-in, they must decide whether survival is worth their principles. That's an interesting one. Grandma's firewall. Okay, so this is consistent. Like how this wrote is consistent with how it did it before. All right, fine. Let's go to fast. Ask the same question. This is now, there was nothing in there that was cynical, though. Remember, this is, let me just make sure that I've got our cynical. Yeah, we're speaking as a cynic right now. Tik Tok question. I don't see a question pinned, but as soon as one's pinned, I will look. Oh, from the bottom, not pinned. You could ask the same question to different models all at once in different tabs. Oh, and then flip between them. That's not a bad idea. But I'm good. I'm just trying to get a really broad take on how these things work. So the last time we did this, let's see here, 10 stories about people trying and usually failing. That might have a little cynical flair to it. To hide from technological advancement, a group of survivalists retreat into the woods with typewriters, vinyl records, rotary phones, only to discover the forest itself has been wired with sensors, tracking their biodiversity. Their primitive life becomes the hottest live stream on the internet. Oh, that's fucking awesome. That's a great story. That's a great story. So it's like the Truman Show, except they think they're out there living in the woods and they're a big hit show. That's fucking hilarious. And actually, what would be good about that one is you have one of the people like cuts themselves and they have to go into town, to go to a hospital to get fixed up, and they're a star, they're a celebrity. That's a really good story. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Blackout hotel. Guests pay a fortune to stay in a mountain lodge where there's no devices allowed. but an AI concierge disguised as a kindly innkeeper runs everything behind the scenes, watching, predicting, even planting dreams. That's boring. We've seen that before. A man refuses to buy it. I think the first one is so good. Like, this is something I think I actually want to play with. I'm going to say I love analog colony. Here's the ending. A person from the woods hurts themselves and has to go to town for medical care, and is recognized like a celebrity, and then sees that sees the 24/7 stream of their off-grid life. Oh my God. And the show ends, or story ends. That's really good. That sharp, gut-punching ending. It nails the hypocrisy of trying to live outside the machine, only to realize you've been the main attraction all along. Here's a tightened version. Do you want me to sketch out a few different tones? Oh, I mean fast. I'm going to say write the outline. Dream of escape. Unseen is free. Scenes of clunky but heartfelt living, writing letters, hand grinding coffee, arguing about whether using a gas stove is too modern, cracks in the illusion. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to flip back to 4 and say, give me a new outline. The escape fantasy, opening shot, manifesto being written on a typewriter, rejecting the algorithmic leash. Theme, control, life in the woods, the glitches, the accident, celebrity unmasked, gut punch. They've been Truman Showed the entire time. The narrator stares blankly at their own face on screen. Marla, barely conscious, mutters, "We were never off the grid." That's pretty good. Do you want to run this as a short film, tight short story, or sketch it into a Black Mirror style script? Because the thing's got legs and a spine, and I'm already annoyed how good it could be. That line, so there's your cynic. So if you're a Gen Xer, absolutely put ChatGPT into cynic mode, because that's absolutely writing like, all right, okay. So now I want to go to, so that was GPT fast. I want to go to Thinking Mini. Thinking Mini I liked a lot before. So we're going to do new chat. Wait, how am I going to remember this one? Oh, I know how. Hiding from technology. Let's rename this. This one is, what was it called? The what colony? Analog? The analog colony, yeah. By the way, if anyone tells you that ChatGPT can't be creative, tell them to bite your butt. Okay, so we're going to go to Thinking Mini. We're going to go new chat. We're going to pop in there the prompt. This I'm kind of excited about. So we've got our cynical personality on, and this is Thinking Mini. And I liked this output last time. Thought for 2 seconds. Same thing. See how these are like longer and more fleshed out? An old railway signaler maintains a disused switch tower on the outskirts of a city that's been fully automated. Like it's got like the last signalman. When a new autonomous rail line reroutes the digital map, the ghost train appears only on his analog scanner. And it needs a human to stop it. He must decide whether to protect the passengers by exposing himself or let the silent system keep running and erase his existence, right? There's your Christmas Carol choice, Sophie's Choice, right? Nice. Barter and static. I like Thinking Mini. There, 10 ways to hide from progress without being boring about it. Again, there's your cynical Gen Xer. Try not to trip over the nearest smart device while you pick your favorite. See, I like this. So this is, and here's the thing, man. What character is that? What actor is that? Here's the thing, man. I forget. Oh, hang on. I got to do physical dexterity. In my mind, here I'm gonna stop playing with this. I have enough information right now to analyze this or to comment on it. In my mind, if 4.0 is kind of the best writer, in my opinion, like the way I like writing, it writes really good. I would expect the parallel model in GPT-5, the 5.0, the fast version, to be like at that level or better. But the 5 fast model sucks. Then I would think, well, the real good writer then should be GPT-5 thinking, the Big Mac Daddy. And it's not. It's the Thinking Mini model that's got this really interesting way of writing about it. So let's do a new chat. Wait, let's go back and share again. Yeah, share the screen again, Brandon. I want to go back and try something. So we're going to grab Analog Colony. Here's our outline. Okay, copy. I'm going to do new chat. So I'm going to say, here's an outline of a short story I really like. Tell me how you would improve it. All right. Delicious premise. You've built a neat little moral mousetrap. People flee screens to discover the screens were front row seats the whole time. Below, I'll point out what's working and give surgical fixes for stronger alternatives. What's already great: clear, satisfying structure, Truman Show style reveal, Marla as a quiet, competent anchor, small sensory details. What can get sharper? Foreshadow the surveillance more cunningly. Someone always has what's needed. Clue is good, but make it a running motif. Give the narrator a clearer inner stake. Why did they run? Not just ideology, a personal wound, a loss. Okay, that's good. Make Marla's arc do more than suffer. Good. Tighten the tone. Fine. Depth of audience. The fans at the end are easy targets. Instead, show them in micro. A kid who imitates the colony, an influencer live streaming their outrage. Oh, that's good. Okay. And it goes on and on. Damn. You already have the spine, fix the pacing. Okay, great. So, update the outline with your fixes and improvements. Good, you've built a delightful trap for earnest fugitives. I've tightened the plot. Okay. Life in the woods, the glitches. So I like this. Okay. What's this? Commit to first person POV. Fine. There, the story keeps. Okay. So I would. Okay. Give me 5 author styles you think would be best for this. I am a fan of the imagery of Tom Robbins, but want your ideas. Don't just make them sci-fi writers. Okay, let's see what we get here. Considering author styles, disclaimer, I can't really give you no, I can write in the spirit of living authors and capture their hallmarks, but I won't produce exact imitations. Tom Robbins-esque, lyrical mischief, ecstatic detail. Joan Didion, razor calm observation, cultural excavation. Hiroku Murakami adjacent. Dream logic, melancholy. No, that's not right. Barbara Kingsolver. Earthwise moralism, ecological texture. And then Italio Calvino. Fable-like clarity, formal play. All right, so let's mix 1 and 5. Fine. You want Tom Robbins' ecstatic metaphors braided into Italio Calvino's clean fable-like rules. Ruthless, joyful, and oddly tidy. Below, I give you a brief style note, a manifesto epigraph, and 3 short original excerpts. Opening typewriter, Marla vignette written. Style in 2 lines. Joyous metaphor plus domestic precision. Parable structure with bursts of lush imagery. Fine, whatever. Great. Use the latest outline and this creative imperative and write me a complete short story that even the most hardened Hollywood exec will want to option. All right. We're doing it here, people. Joan Didion. Kyle types almost as well as me. Shut up. I know I could do the talking thing. I'm dumb. Okay. The analog colony. Rule 1, if you're going to quit the machine, quit the whole contract. Bring paper, not performative gestures. Bring courage, not cameras. The typewriter coughed the manifesto into the room like a small necessary fire. There's your Tom Robbins right there. Keys landed in the stubborn rhythm of someone rapping a truth into a drum. One key stuck, a stubborn little click that sounded, for reasons I could not name then, like a secret door closing, little foreshadowing. I underlined the last sentence twice, smelled the lemon oil of the ribbon, and felt, and for a few minutes, that we could erase the world by refusing to answer it. And do we have a nice long short story here? We do. Look, it made more than a 6-paragraph short story. All right, let me copy this. Why does he sing like that? That's rather annoying. I was just listening to him ramble and he nearly had me asleep, and then he started doing that sort of beatboxing, like a talentless beatboxer, and that really, it woke me up. I found it annoying. All right, the Analog Colony. Watch this. By Kyle Shannon. Did you use AI to write this? None of your fucking business. Sir, Mr. Shannon, yes, we have evidence that the Analog Colony short story, for which you've received so much praise, including the Pulitzer for fiction. Congratulations, short-lived. Congratulations while you had it. It has come to our attention that this is a story that was generated by artificial intelligence. Simply a prompt was put into a machine and a stochastic puppet vomited out some tokens, and you submitted that as your own work. And sir, first of all, the writers of the world resent you and really just despise everything that you stand for. And we've talked to the Pulitzer committee, and while they have never retracted a Pulitzer in the past, there's always a first for everything. Congratulations, Mr. Shannon, on breaking new ground. So yeah, you no longer have a Pulitzer there, and we talked to Universal Studios, who was really excited to make this movie. They oddly enough not as excited now. So good luck to your career there, and you'll probably be out of the detention center here shortly. AI prompting career. Yeah, it is an AI prompting career. I mean, quite frankly, because what I'll do is I like this story enough. I'll read it, and if there's shit in there I don't like, I'll rewrite it. But it's like, the amount of sort of iterations we went through of just give us a bunch of ideas. We went through a bunch of this stuff. This one like stood out above the rest. Like, this was clearly kind of cool. And so like the curation of that, like, there is creative craft in what we just did. Right? I saw there's a dude on the TikTok right now. He's got long hair. He's a writer. And he just keeps talking about people that use AI. They like just push a button and out comes a thing. And it's like, no one that I know that's doing good work in AI just pushes a button and out comes a story. Right? They're putting in intention and thoughtfulness. And in this case, we were kind of experimenting with which of these models did the most interesting writing, which and how did changing personalities alter that. Those are all creative inputs, So, I think we're in a relatively short phase. Maybe it's 5 years, where the demonizing of AI generated work, it's going to peak at some point, probably in the next 2 years, and then it'll fade over the next 10. Because who fucking cares? If it's good work, if it's a good story that's well written, what does it matter? Anyway, all right. Woo! Thoughts? Thoughts. I'm going to have some more tequila. Hello, champ. Good day to you, champ Shannon. You're a relatively rotund puppy. Pinky's out because we're classy. Yeah, question for you, Mr. Shannon. Yes, Champ Shannon. Yes, question. Are you a purebred? A purebred mutt? You were found in a ditch in Oklahoma. All right, he was. You all right there, buddy? Am I picking on you? A little too much? A little too much? Orphan shaming? dog shelter shaming? Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, Chippy. All right, let's go do some other shit. Let's go do some other stuff. TikTok pin. Wait, is a collage art? Of course. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, listen, I understand the anger. I also understand the AI slop argument, right? The AI slop argument is, and YouTube just demonetized a whole bunch of videos that do this, right? If I just push a button and squirt out some content and publish that, and especially if I do like 10,000 of those a week, that's just sort of polluting the airwaves, right? But if I, as a human being, am taking my 30 years, 40 years, I don't know, 50 years of writing experience, and I'm taking the way I think narratively and the stories I like and the way I like to approach things, and how I'm prompting these things is guiding them down a very particular path, and I'm iterating as I go, and I'm curating as I go, and I'm flipping between models because I recognize that this one model is better than these other two. That's a creative chain of craft. It's just not the same thing. And that the thing that frustrates me about all of the people that are pissed off right now is they don't, because they're pissed off and they're sitting on the sidelines with their arms crossed, they actually don't know how these tools work. And they don't actually understand how creative professionals actually work with them. Like this writing guy on TikTok today said, well, anyone that uses AI is not a creative professional. No, that's not true. There are a lot of non-creative people squirting out creative words at the push of a button. But there are also a lot of creative professionals who are learning the nuances of these AI tools and working them into their traditional storytelling chain of craft. But the argument right now is if you use any AI tools, you're a non-creative, plagiarizing thief. It's just not true. It's just not true. For most of the people that I know that are doing anything interesting with AI, if people are just squirting out bullshit, I hate them too. Calm down. He's not. I almost made a response video today, but I didn't quite know. I didn't have enough time to know on TikTok, do I stitch it or duet it or whatever the fuck you're supposed to do. So I just gave up. Anyway. All right, imagine. Wait, no, let's go to Jingle.ai. So what I want you to do, sorry, I may choke out on this one. I want you to go to Jingle.ai. Is it Jingle.ai? Is it Jingle Maker? It's not Jingle.ai. Jingle Maker.ai. Yeah, Jingle Maker. Okay. So this is from 11 Labs. So as you may know, 11 Labs 2 weeks ago came out with 11 Labs Music, right? So a Suno competitor. It's not great. It's like I would consider it fourth. I would say right now you've got Suno and Producer AI are kind of the top two. Then you have Udio, and then I would say 11 Labs Music is number 4, in my opinion. But they did this thing which is really cute, and the idea is very right. The idea is I can just take the URL of a website, and it's going to create a jingle for the website. But they're so bad. So we're going to do a radio ad. Well, no, let's do Madison Avenue. We'll do more sophisticated. And what I'm going to type in is I'm going to type in my company's screen. Oh, am I not sharing it all anymore? What happened? Damn it. Weird. Okay. So this is jinglemaker.ai. So this is part of 11 Labs. So you can pick 6 different styles, a funky rap, a Midwest farmer, dramatic TV commercial. I'm going to do Madison Avenue, sophisticated advertising appeal. And then you just type in your website, storyvine.com. So this is my company. And then it's going to go make us a song. It ain't no Rick Rubin. Stacey Rodriguez, thank you, Kyle, for all you do. Every night, breaking things down and showing us the ropes. Appreciate you. Thank you, Stacey. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you know, I say this a lot, but the purpose of this channel is not for me to teach you anything. It's just for all of us to be in the conversation. And I am every bit as much at the beginning with this GPT-5 stuff as you are. Like, I learned something new tonight, that the model that I assumed I would use the least is probably the one I'm going to use the most. Right? Because thinking fast, like, it is clear to me that GPT-5 fast is a shitty model. Like, that's clear to me. I got clear on that tonight. I don't like GPT-5 thinking because it takes too long. But GPT-5 thinking fast, that was the one that I didn't think I'd have any use for. And that's the one that ended up being my favorite writing partner tonight. And it's decently fast. So that's probably going to become my new default. I'll tell you, that could change in 3 days, but that's my instinct right now. All right, so here's now watch this be fucking brilliant. But I did one earlier for Storyvine, and so did producer Brandon. We could talk about the black bar. So here we go.
Can look at your truth, start shoot stories and everything. Storyvine. Answer questions, follow the guide. Authentic moments brought to life. Structured storytelling by Storyvine. Minutes flat, your tales alive. Polished, scaled in record time. Storyvine. 5 to 10 minutes, video done. Scale your stories, ever run. Power voices, let me shine. Storyvine, Storyvine, Storyvine.
That was actually not horrible. I mean, it was cheesy as fuck. And, you know, if we were in the 50s, but, you know, what's old is new again. Again, here's why I think this is interesting. There's one thing to put in the prompt box, a URL. And then there's 6 choices. Do you want a radio ad? Do you want TV? Do you want country? Do you want hip hop? Let's go back and do hip hop. So we'll do storyvine.com, and we'll do funky rap, they call it. People's interactions with generative AI are likely going to be these little entertainments, these little like vending machines. You know, think like, you know, in the tech district in Tokyo, all the crazy vending machines they have for like blocks and blocks and blocks. That's how I can imagine AI evolving, that it just evolves into all these little tools of joy, right? And function. Oh, Vicky did one for the AI Salon and the Irregulars. Okay, good. Let's go check that out. That's great. All right, Irregulars channel. Vicky's creativity unleashed at the AI Salon. Jingle maker. Here we go. It's probably going to jump me to a new tab, but I know how to deal with that now. It did. Show this tab instead. Okay, here we go.
Welcome to the AI Salon, where ideas ignite. Join our vibrant community, spark your insight. From curious beginners to daring experts in play, empathy and bravery guide us every day. The AI Salon, where creativity's alive. Collaborate, experiment, let's all thrive. Unlock the future, join us now, the AI Salon.
And speaking of which, that's a fantastic ad for the AI Salon. If you're going to take yourself over there to the salon.ai or just community.thesalon.ai, that'll bring you right into the AI Salon. And I'd join if I were you. Why? Because it's awesome. Couldn't you tell by the song? That's actually pretty good. I liked it. That was cheesy. Yeah, it reminds me of the original Suno. It does. That's the thing about 11 Labs music right now, is it very much feels like early Suno or early Udio. Those guys have moved on to more sophisticated stuff, but yeah. So that's at jinglemaker.ai. Let's go back and listen to is this it? Share this tab. TikTok pin. I see no TikTok pin. Just Justin Bieber. B-I-A-I-ber.
Yo, feel that bass line bumping. Crisp beats in the trunk and smooth groove sets the stage. Now let the story function. Record your tale in real time. Get your answers on the fly. Cloud does the magic. Clips transform before your eyes. Structure flow maintains your vibe. Authenticity amplified. Simplify video storytelling. Watch your narrative thrive. From customers to advocates, let their voices come alive. All you need is Storyvine. Scale up your vids and min.
Yeah, that's pretty horrific. It's pretty bad. Like, it's bad musically, it's bad lyrically. But, you know, here's a widget. Here's an AI widget that, you know, this might be people's first interactions with these tools. Okay, let's jump over now. Let me pause for a second, because I know I've been rambling a lot. Let me just check in with you all, see if you have any questions or thoughts. Questions, thoughts? Anybody have any questions? Music is math at the end of the day. AI can probably fake hip-hop easier than it can classical music. So, Ryan, here's an interesting thing about that statement. About that supposition. When I was first learning about generative AI, I was learning about translating Chinese versus translating from English to Chinese or from English to Spanish. Because Spanish is a Romance language, you would think it would be easier for it to do that because it's closer. In traditional computing, where you're using logic, that would actually make sense. But the way large language models work is they're essentially blind to the data. You just tag the data, whatever the data means, and then it sort of trains on the data objects, whatever it turns into these tokens that go into the latent space. When it recreates them, it's just doing it mathematically identically, whether it's Chinese or Spanish or English. In fact, the language translation stuff was an emergent behavior. They didn't train these things to be good at language translation. They just trained it on enough language that it sort of figured it out. And it's the same with music. So it being better at hip hop than classical music Probably not. It's just if you've got a strong, well-trained model, it will be good at both. Now, if you trained a model and it's got almost no hip hop in it or no references to it, then it would be really weak at that. But it's not that one is more complex than the other and it does it better or not, which is, I find, wild. What do I mean by the latent space? Okay, so box metaphor. This thing, actually, you know what? I'm going to show you a slide because
hey, Kyle.
Yes, sir.
I'm not saying you can't show your slide, but it is against the production rules to bring the boxes out and not do the box metaphor.
And not use the box. I know, it's true. It's true.
You can't tease people on Friday night date night like that. It's
all right,
okay.
fine. We'll start with the box because that thing's loading anyway. Okay, we'll go with the box metaphor. So what is the latent space? Okay. The way, okay, there's so many pieces to this. In 2017, Google writes this paper called Attention is All You Need, and they introduce this concept of a technology called the transformer. And the way the transformer works is it takes tagged data, right? So you take a document and you tag it so that you understand what that document is and what's in it. And then you run it through this thing called a transformer. And what the transformer does is it takes the document and it actually shatters it into what are called tokens. And tokens are things like spaces and periods, fragments of words, whole words like dog or and, fragments of words that are sort of the root of a word plus the modifiers. So it shatters it into these tokens, and it then semantically clusters them in 1,000-dimensional mathematical space. That's the box. So they basically take all these documents and then they shatter them into these things called tokens. And in the box, there are all these different little clusters of tokens. And the clusters of tokens might be, you might have a token that represents the word dog that was out of some paper that was about canines. And that's over here in a cluster of tokens related to pets. And then you can have the same word dog that came out of a dating book. And it talked about the guy that did his girlfriend bad, and he's a dog. And that's over here in the dating cluster, right? And so none of the original documents actually remain anymore. Like once you embed them, they literally turn into these shards, these little teeny tiny shards of words that get clustered in 1,000 dimensions, basically in a box like this. And that's your large language model. So if you remember the early days of ChatGPT, it was last updated on November of 2021 or 2020, whatever it was. That's because that's when they did the last embeddings. And so all of those tokens are basically just sitting in this mathematical space. And then what happens is when you type a prompt, and this is called the latent space. The latent space is that mathematical space where all these tokens exist. When you type in a prompt and you hit the return button, it turns your prompt into a mathematical probability. And it basically says the next most likely token that is the right response to that prompt is somewhere in this mathematical space. And so it'll go, okay, dog, and somewhere over here in the pet cluster is the word dog, and I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to put that in the sentence. And so when you see a large language model generating all of this crap, all of these words, it's literally pulling individual little fragments of words from 1,000-dimensional space with billions, if not trillions of these tokens. And, when they talk about parameters, all the different, ways it can look into that space and how it's trained. It's insane. the more you learn about how this stuff works, the more magical it gets to me. Like, that anyone figured this out is fucking insane to me. Oh. Oh.
Okay, so it won't let me pin it, but Miss Birch would like to see the slide.
Fine.
And,
we'll go
mind your tabs.
Thank you. Am I sharing right now? No. All right. So I just described it in the box metaphor, and I'll show it to you in an actual slide. Oops. Okay. So in case you didn't know, GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Generative means it's generating. When you create something, it is not copying and pasting. That's a really important concept. Most people that don't understand AI assume it's copying and pasting. They assume it's just like hip hop in the 90s, where you're literally taking a chunk from a song and copying and pasting that into your song. That's not the way it works. It's generating from all these fragments being stitched together. Pre-trained means it's been pre-trained on whatever data they jammed into it. Much of it not legally gathered. And then transformers the technology. LLM is the large language model. That's the thing. The latent space is a two-dimensional, a flat dimensional representation of like these tokens in semantic clusters. It's a mathematical representation of words, tokens, which are fragments of words. But for the most part, it's a mathematical representation of words in n-dimensional space. This is two-dimensional space, right? X, Y. And then there's these little colored clusters of meaning. And then based on your prompt, the LLM comes up with a probability weighting that somewhere in this mathematical space is the correct next word. So the example that I have here is the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy blank. And the way it works is mathematically, this blue cluster is most likely where that word is. And then one of those tokens within there will have the highest probability of being the correct word. They have this thing in the settings called temperature, where they can, if they turn temperature down to 0, it will always pick that same token. If they turn it up to 1 or 2, I forget whatever the scale is right now, it might pick from like 20 of those different tokens, right? And so they can actually affect its creativity or its hallucination by sliding a slider to be more deterministic or more random in terms of what it's putting in there. And then that token that it chooses has this mathematical location in the latent space, and then that specific token is associated with a specific word, in this case dog, and then it'll take that word dog and put it in the sentence. And you can see there's other words around it that might have been possibilities, but it chooses dog. And again, this to me, like, once you understand this, that how this shit actually works, when you watch it write an entire marketing plan for you, and what it's effectively doing is going, what's the next token in your 1,000-dimensional latent space? What's the next one? What's the next one? And it's just sort of vomiting them out one after the other. So the modern systems do it in clusters, and there's all sorts of fancy shit, but this is basically what's happening. This is also why these things hallucinate, because as much as it seems like they're semi-consciously understanding what you asked and answering it, they actually don't know what they wrote. They're just pulling tokens out of mathematical space and putting them on the page. And so that's why when you say, well, that thing's wrong, they'll be like, oh, you're absolutely right. That was wrong. Let me fix it for you. And then they'll do it again, right? They'll fuck it up again. GPT-5, apparently, again, I don't know all the details of this, but apparently GPT-5 has in it a mechanism that rather than just vomiting the tokens out on your page for you, it vomits the tokens out internally and then actually looks at them and says, are there any hallucinations here? And if there are, it tries to fix them, and then it gives you an answer. So there you go. That's it. This is let me show you another thing. There's also a reason when you tell your chat bot, I want you to act like a newspaper reporter. The reason that works is that it basically narrows down your semantic clusters, basically, right? So if you say, I want you to act like a newspaper reporter, there's probably whole areas of the latent space that have all sorts of journalism and things in it like that. And it'll probably ignore things where people just talk about news that are not journalists, right? So that's why giving your large language model a role can work, is it limits the latent space and you get more focused tokens to draw from. So, all right. How are we doing time-wise? Oh, it's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there, people. All right, black bar. All right, switch me. Let's see, where are we going? I can do whole screen here because I'm not doing any audio. Okay, so let's go to where I'm going right now is aistudio.google.com. So this is the development area of Google's Gemini. And when I say the development area, this is where coders and programmers and engineers go if they want to use the Google APIs. So you can come in here and they've got all these different models that you can choose from. They've got open source models. All their Gemma models are in here. Gemini. They've got the interface for this has gotten better and better and better, but you can get an API key here. So if you actually want to be making AI applications using, in this case, Gemini models, this is where you would sort of test them and see which one works best and what the costs are and all that sort of stuff. But one of the things that they've done is they broke out generative media as a distinct tab here. And so they've got image gen, they've got Lyria, real-time, interactively create, control, and perform music in the moment. That's kind of cool. I don't think I've played with that. Image gen is their best image generation model. They've got speech generation. They've got the VO. This is the VO video model, right? So you could say, have a pompous actor recite the text of a SpaghettiOs commercial. Failed to generate video. Quota exceeded due to high demand. Or not. That's the go fuck yourself response. Okay, so we'll go to image gen here. Okay, so now you've got image gen 4, image gen 4 ultra, image gen fast. So again, if you're in a development environment like this or in the OpenAI playground, it's going to be a lot more technical. There's going to be lots of models to choose from, which in theory we shouldn't have to do in Chat GPT, but we do because that's what people wanted apparently. But these are all the new models. So let's see, image gen 4.0. And so if we go in here, you all know my classic image generation prompt, 1970s muscle car, resto mod, glistens in an abandoned factory with afternoon sun streaming through the missing factory windows. So let me copy this so I don't have to type it again. Black bar, sorry about that. Oh, it's up. Oh, yeah, I should have done 4 images. Shit. Output resolution 1K, 2K. So one of the things I've noticed about image gen is that it's making, like, this is clearly a Mustang, right? That's clearly a Mustang logo. That's the Mustang grill. That's the Mustang profile. This is sort of not a Mustang curve right here. It's kind of got Challenger, some Challenger influence on the fenders, but pretty good. Let me do 4 of these. Let me flip it to that. So that's image gen 4. Here's image gen fast. We'll do 4 of them here. So again, 2 Mustangs, 2 Challengers. Interesting. And these are faster, but they're still pretty good. And then let's do ultra. So ultra should be super good. Yeah, look how that glistens. Love that color. Chevelle SS, really nice. Challenger. Dragster. Look at those nice wide tires. Oh, yeah. That's Resto Mod. That one's gorgeous. Really cool. That's really good. That's really good. So if you want a new image thing to play with, head on over to aistudio.google.com. Click on Generate Media. And yeah, then there you have it. Did I lose all my Generate Media? Did I lose everything I've created? History. What's wrong, champ? You want cheese? Where's my history? There it is. All right, so my history's in there. Nice. That one's really slick. I'm going to download that one. Let's do these in 2K. We'll do 2K Ultra. Uh-oh. I just quit TikTok. Sorry, TikTok. I just quit you. I wish I could quit you. Let's see what we got here. Large view. Why can I not do a large view? What's going on? Download? We'll do this to desktop. Champy, shush. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at the cobwebs on the machine back here. But look at the depth of the color. Doesn't quite say charger, but you know, good enough for government work. I think that's pretty damn good. That's pert darn good. What do you think, Champy? You think that's good? Yeah. You want to go out? All right, I'll let you out. All right. All right. Let's get out of here, people. Let's get out of here. How's the hair? It's special tonight. All right, everyone. So hope you had fun on Friday night date night. Here's the thing. Go check out the AI Salon. Next Tuesday, we've got the AI Salon meet and greet. So AI Salon meet and greet, you get to meet other people in the community. It's a special meet and greet because we're doing the official launch of the AI Readiness Training Program. So we're bringing back, I think we've got somewhere between 5 and 7 original speakers from AI Festivus are coming back and talking about what they've been doing since they talked in Festivus. And then we're doing the official launch of the brand new website and the official rollout of the AI Readiness Training Program. So I'm super excited about that. So that's next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Homework for the weekend. This is a big one. So if you've been watching the whole time, what you witnessed me do tonight was I took something that I knew decently well, like I know writing decently well and, storytelling decently well. And I just went, sort of poked down some rabbit holes really quickly doing something I know, because when you ask a large language model to do something that you've got expertise in, you can pretty quickly see if it hits it or not. So for you, it might not be writing. It might be project management. It might be business plans. It might be a marketing campaign, whatever it is that you know deeply. It might be coding. Play with these different tools. And I would say play with those personalities as well, because again, that tweet of the VC guy that said, we've officially hit the tipping point where none of us really know if these things are that much better than the previous model, but we are going to know if it gives us what we need, if we resonate with it, if it feels like, ooh, that's good. Like me tonight, the GPT Thinking Mini model was the surprise hit of the evening for me. I'm like, ooh, that's really exciting. Don't make any assumptions like I did about which model I assume would work best, right? Because the base GPT-5 model is horrible at writing, is what I learned tonight. It's horrible at it. But the Thinking Mini one is really good. And then the full thinking one is not as good. Why? I don't know. It doesn't matter. That's just my personal take on it through my filter, through my lenses, through my meaning-making machine. So play this weekend. Play with the different things. Go into it not having expectations and just see what emerges for you. All right? Whoo! That's an interesting point. But what about all the people who are going to use AI without having that background knowledge? That's why I do this show. There are no manuals for this. The stuff is changing too fast. One of the things that breaks my heart the most is people who are actively sitting on the sidelines with their arms crossed. Like ones that just don't know about AI, I give them a little bit of grace. Ones that know about AI and are just kind of lazy, like I've got time, what if they're just lethargic about it, them it serves right. The ones that really break my heart are the ones that actually have some passion about this, but the passion is, fuck AI, I'm not going to do AI. They're going to get their asses handed to them. And it's like you can be pissed off at AI, but fucking use it. Understand this stuff. Understand what it makes possible. And then you can choose morally which model you want to use or not, right? Like, I have full respect for creative professionals that are like, I'm not going to use AI for this one area of my life because that's like my sacred creative space. And I'm just not going to do it. Cool. But I'm going to use it in these other areas because why not? Great. But the ones that are just not using it, it's just like, it's tragic. So anyway, that's why that's the whole point of this channel. Get as many people as possible. So if you know people who should be in this conversation, fucking bring them here. Okay? Maybe that's another request this weekend. So one is start playing with these models, the GPT-5 models, so you can understand them a little bit more. And then the other one is think about people who should be in this conversation and maybe invite them next week to the lives or to the AI Salon. All right? Ruby, have a fantastic weekend, everybody. And I will see you on Monday night. All right. Bye. Boom.